She was a sister with a sultry voice from Texas, and with a voice reminiscent of Amy Winehouse. They both shared the same demons.
At some point, she just didn't give a damn anymore.
Esther would have her way if it cost everything. Born Esther Mae Jones on December 23, 1935, in Galveston, Texas. Esther had a challenging early life that shaped her future in music. She was raised primarily by her mother and grew up singing in church, which is where her love for music began. By her early teens, she had already shown a powerful and expressive voice. At age 14, she was discovered by Johnny Otis during a talent contest at the Barrel House Club in Los Angeles. She began performing under the name Little Esther and quickly found success in the early 1950s with hits like Double Crossing Blues and Mistrust in Blues. Her early career was promising, but she faced significant personal struggles, including drug addiction, which affected her rise to lasting stardom at the time. By this time, Esther had left grade school and attended homeschool on the road. She purchased her mother a house at 17, but was unable to keep up with the mortgage payments. But tragedy would strike on the road and all hell would break loose on Christmas Day 1954, when Esther's tour mate Johnny Ace would accidentally shoot himself playing Russian roulette backstage. Here's a fun fact. Did you know Johnny Ace is the biological grandfather of soul singer Lettucey? A sad occasion indeed, but Esther was not detoured. By this time, young Esther was just 19 years old and traveling the treacherous Chitlin circuit. In an industry where friends are fickle and known to be fair weather, Esther's childhood friend Dinah Washington stayed in her life until her own demise at the age 39. It would be Esther's 1975 cover of Dinah Washington's What a Difference a Day Makes that would stand out in her career.
What a difference a day makes, 24 hours, got the sun and the flowers, when it used to be rain, my yesterday was blue, dear.
I'm sure both of our favorites from way back from the Dinah Washington days, right?
Right.
I want to ask you about when you first came on the scene known as Little Esther. But I want to ask you that, not because I want to tell your age, but because I want to tell mine.
I can do.
Yeah. But I've been digging you for a long.
Esther appeared to be elated to have had another hit record, but the thrill would be short-lived. Substance abuse was not a favorite subject to Esther. As a matter of fact, she felt attacked and judged when discussing the matter that she battled since her teenage years.
People have been really coming at me kind of at another angle, especially young people. You know, and when I say young people, you know, I mean people in their 20s, and they're not coming, they know all about the singing. I guess I done played that out, huh? Now they want to know, what about you? And it kind of puts me on the spot because I'm kind of a private type person, you know. And I, being involved in drugs and trying to come out of that trip, people have taken that and used it against me. And I mean, did a whole number on me about that. So that consequently made me just kind of withdraw.
But there isn't always losers in the war on sobriety and addiction. Ray Charles fought the battle and won the war. And after his heroin arrest and the media storm that followed in 1961, 10 years Alter Ray would speak on his triumph.
And especially with young people. See, the youngsters, you know, it's very bad. I hear about New York with kids 10, 12 years old with overdose. That's awful. very bad.
You committed yourself to a hospital to cure yourself?
Well, no, I didn't commit myself to cure myself. I went to a hospital because it was the right thing for me to do under the circumstances. No, I had a made-up mind, and frankly, you see, there's no psychiatrist.
But opioid abuse would cast its spell again, and child star Frankie Lyman would be its next victim. By 1965, he had lost many teeth and lip-sync his television appearance. He'd be dead 3 years later. One beautiful gesture of support was when Aretha Franklin gave her label mate Esther Phillips her Grammy Award in 1972 as a show of support for Esther's drug struggle. But the fight would be for Esther within herself in the end.
Georgia Rose, Georgia, Georgia, Georgia Rose, we're the most.
Esther just couldn't kick the addiction, and it destroyed her organs. She was hospitalized over a month at UCLA Medical Center, and after 6 months of declining health, she passed away on August 7th, 1984. There would be one person that would miss her especially, and that would be the now Reverend Johnny Otis, who had discovered Esther at age 13. He also eulogized Esther and told the crowd he felt as if he's burying his daughter because Esther was just that to him. She would be laid to rest in one of her favorite shimmering dresses, and her hair dressed in her signature side ponytail. Esther Phillips was now free into the hands of God.
But even after she'd been laid to rest, like a true blues record, she sang "No Headstone on My Grave." Esther Phillips had died broke and in bankruptcy, and after death literally had no headstone on her grave. Her loving friends would come together a year later and honor her life with a grave on her headstone.
Jazz and blues greats gathered last night in Hollywood to pay tribute to one of their own. But there were no plaques, no statues. Instead, there was music as performers tried to keep their colleagues' memory alive. Channel 2's Roy Firestone was there with this tribute, and he has details now. Roy?
John, thank you very much. The jazz and blues great Esther Phillips lived and died in a kind of classic jazz and blues stereotype, battling drug and alcohol addiction, finally dying penniless. But last night at the Vine Street Bar and Grill, some of her contemporaries were determined not to see an old cliche perpetuate itself.
How are you? Hi, baby. How you Haven't seen you in ages and ages.
Sylvester lived life by his own terms and rules, paving the way for himself.
Soon, a cluster of strange pneumonia cases began to crop up in gay men. Then, a rare cancer that left purple lesions on their bodies, persistent rashes, lingering colds,